Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Other Brother podcast, episode number 7, with the man, the myth, the legend, and the handsomest podcast guest of all time, John Connolly. How are you, big man?
I'm all good, buddy. How are you?
Mate, I'm really good. I'm really excited to get a blab with another mad goalie, because on a mental health pod, the goalies have got the reputation among the football players for being the daftest. So I'm taking either
Are we really the daftest? But do we chase a bit after a ball for 90 minutes? Come on.
I was going to say that. I think we're actually the cleverest. The only thing being a goalkeeper cost me was my relationship with my mom, because when I was at school, I would dive on the concrete and rip all my trousers. I cost her a pair of trousers a week.
That's the standard. That's standard.
Well, to start with this pod, mate, although I need to say to anybody listening or watching, this is not a Rangers podcast, but myself and John being massive Rangers fans, and with John and his latest job as the Annan goalkeeper coach, obviously had a visit from our favourite team. Speaking about mental health and two people that are passionate about football, there's going to be a bit of Rangers chat. John, would you agree?
Yes, I don't mind that at all, mate.
So, the weekend, mate, how was that? That must have been surreal for you.
It was brilliant, mate. It was absolutely brilliant. Even the whole build-up to it, just on the club, and the main thing for me, mate, see, after it all, the biggest thing for me is people can actually see how good a wee club Annan is. Because I don't think it doesn't get a lot of coverage because we're in the lower leagues in League 2, but it is a great club run with great people. And it's a lot, even I'll go as far as the Gaffer, and there's players that are at a far, far higher level they could go, not a problem. Not a problem.
I was going to say that, mate. But obviously, when me and you played, and we'll get into that, it was junior football. Now you've obviously got the pyramid system and that. And I've watched obviously a couple. I watched the Annan, I watched Celtic Hearts. I've watched another couple of lower league teams. There isn't that much difference in standard between that and Championship. Right up to Championship, there's not much in it.
I agree, mate. Totally agree. As I say, we've got a lot of boys there that could step up Championship, Premier League, in my opinion. Not a problem. About 3 or 4 of your boys could easily do that.
Magic, mate. So to talk us through Saturday, and obviously mental health podcast, you must have been let away on Christmas morning.
I was, to be fair, I'll not get into it, but I had a wee bit of a rough day on the Friday, so my head was off it on the Friday, to be honest. Right up until then, it's all I thought about that whole week. The preparation for the training the Tuesday, training on the Thursday, but as I say, try to keep it as normal as possible. I still done everything the exact same. We worked on things on the Tuesday and the Thursday, which we always do week in, week out. I'll look at the other team. I'll go, they've got inverted wingers, they'll come in, so we'll work on a wee couple of shots for left footers come in for the right back. Just wee silly things, which we do every week anyway with the goalies. Nothing changed. As I say, Friday took my mind right off. I didn't sleep Friday night, so my head was elsewhere. Then the Saturday, it must have been about 10 in the morning. It just went boom, Rangers mode. It's big game day of the day. Just got it. I just decided I was going to go up, get down there, and enjoy my day. But I was going to do my job as I normally would. It was treat it as another game, but enjoy the surroundings, enjoy what's going on around about you as well. Because I think it's important. You've got to soak it up as well. It's all right to say you can blank it out. You can't treat it any different. It was different.
Just another game.
See, it's another game preparation-wise, and what you do within your working time, as I call it. Everyone's bang on, but everyone round about it. You've got to soak up. There's time. I've got a lot of regrets with my playing days. I've seen you. I see quite a lot in social media now. People think it's cringe that boys are getting autographs or photos took with players. You know what? That's the biggest regret that I've got. I've played games against Alberts, Thierry Henry, boys like, Nicholas Anelka, who scored by me. I've played against Arsenal Stadium. I wish social media was about then so I could get pictures of the moments. There are moments that I don't have any pictures of or whatever that I can't, all I can look back is in my head in the moments. So looking now a bit, I'm making these moments.
Mate, I can identify with
it. Whether it be Rangers, anybody knows me. You're on my Twitter. I'll take pictures every ground I go to. If I know boys, I'll use examples. Like some Billy Thompson. I've had photos took with him. Blah blah blah. I do it every week. It's just a wee thing I do. And I know quite a lot of people know me for doing it, and I do it on my Snapchat, and I've got about 10, 15 guys every week. I've seeing run about different teams and just wee bits and bobs. I'm going, no, that some people don't get to see the behind the scenes things, and you turning up to your training or stuff like that. But that's just me, and it's just the way I'm. It's the way I've always been for the last good wee while, because I appreciate everyone I've got around about me.
I think as a football fan, I'm the exact same as you. Obviously, I get it tight. But we'll talk a wee bit about getting it tight on Twitter, because we're two of the people who seem to get it quite a lot. But
you're right.
See, when Xander is playing against Rangers, I'm on the phone to him. Go see if he can get me my favourite players top, because I'm a Rangers fan at the end of the day, and I'll go up. I'm that guy who'll go up and stand outside for an hour after the game, and my excuse is I'm waiting to see Xander, but I'm not waiting to see Xander. I'm waiting to try and get my photo took with some of the Rangers players, because at the end of the day, I'm a 33-year-old big child. The thing is,
you could be a 40-year-old child like me.
Don't look a day or 20, man.
I'll take that.
I think that there's a big. It shows how much to me. See that going up and looking back on pictures and going, oh, there's a picture of Morelos signing my wee girl's top, and even some of the St Johnstone players, meeting some of them, and just down to earth people. But because you're a football fan and because I'm a football fan, you look at these people as role models and heroes.
Of course you do.
I loved it. I loved it, mate. I loved it. I was going to say to you, you have had the only proven remedy for poor mental health, and that's a smile and a cuddle for Jimmy Bell. I seen it with my eyes in the picture. I thought it was photoshopped.
No, it was actually brand new. It was actually really, really good. So it was. And the fact that you knew who I was as well blew my mind.
It's fanboying, isn't it? It's fanboying. It's brilliant.
So, I'll be honest, I was nervous to ask him, because I get there a lot earlier than a lot of people, because obviously I just had to go to the house and get down there. So I was down there quite very sharp, a couple of hours before most other boys, and he was in setting up, just sitting blaring away to somebody who's sat up, asking him questions about legends, Alberts, and my heroes. I mean, that guy's been running about these guys all these days. You know what I mean?
And it's not that every single player that goes, and like you see a lot of the inside Ibrox. Obviously, I've got a Rangers TV subscription, and you watch that, and he's the heart and soul of the full club. See, as soon as
every former player you speak to, every single former, every interview, they all mention him.
So how did you feel on Saturday night then? Obviously, you must have been proud of your team as well. They never let themselves down at all. Unreal.
No, they did. The first half was wild with the weather and stuff, but they never put their heads down. I'll be honest, I thought a lot of other teams might have just folded once the first couple of goals went in and chucked it in, but we still try to play. We still try to play football. We still try to have a go. We never sat in and just hope for the best. We'll try to have a wee go as well, and give ourselves a bit of credit, which we did. The boys were an absolute credit. Every single one of them were a credit to themselves. That's what I'm saying. They can go up the road on the Saturday night knowing that they're on TV against the champions of Scotland, and they're suspect. I've seen things on my Twitter. It's got to be 5, 6, 7, 8-0, things like that. And I'll be honest, you fear sometimes. You see the lineup as well. You go, they're not hanging about here today either. They're showing a lot of respect as well. Fair play to Gio. There's always that fear that, this could go wrong, but nah, every man either was a credit to themselves.
Right, mate. I'm going to have to obviously go back, mate, to the start of your career. As I say, we spoke a wee bit before we started. We spoke a wee bit before we started here about the goalies being mental and that. So I know that I've turned out mental, but do you think we've got that wee bit of mental in us when we were young? Were you off your nut when you were a youth?
Oh, wild, mate. Anybody knows me, you'll see boys on my Twitter and I'll come out with wee stories for here and then. It's just to be fair, I was just football daft. And I was a wee guy. Our thing was straight into school, it was bag in the house, football gear on, and straight back out until the lights come on. That's when we came in.
Yep.
See, when the lights come on, you couldn't see anymore. You don't see it anymore. We were straight down our local. It was the reason we had to rush in and get back out is because you had to get a certain bit of the pitch. So you're always fighting with other kids when about to get a certain bit of a pitch or whatever. So that was our youth. I never went out the streets drinking or nothing like that. It's not my thing. I never started drinking and smoking until I went to full-time football. That's the truth.
Like one of the Italians, the old Italians.
Honestly, it's weird how that worked out. You'd think everybody else would do all their drinking up when they're a wee guy and wants to go full-time football, the clean. He don't know, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
But that was just the culture back then as well.
I was going to say that, John. I think that's part of the. I get the exact same, mate. I never done that until I was 18 and then went into the shipyards and started going out with friends and stuff. And I definitely think that being in a male-orientated workplace where there's kind of peers that you look up to definitely affects that. It brings out that side of you.
You're going out and you're seeing like you're a wee white, you're a young YTS player and you're going out to the club, the same club as your senior players, and you're looking and they're sitting drinking the beers, they've got the fat smoking in the pubs. That was when it was allowed. It was a social thing to do back then.
Yep.
In the late 90s, it was middle 90s, it was a social thing to have a flag in it. And you're seeing senior players, so you're seeing them doing it, you're going, I want to do that, and then next fucking thing you know, you're addicted to flags.
Oh, talk me through snus, John. You must be into the snus, you know.
I've never tried it, mate. I've never tried it. I'm on a vape now with no nicotine. I just take a vape with no nicotine. I've been off of flags for, that's 4.5 years now.
Brilliant. How do you feel for that? You must feel.
And everybody knew me before then. A lot better, mate. I can breathe.
Yeah.
Night and day. So I say there's no nicotine. It's a habit. I just take for. I was at one stage. I was 40, 50 fags a day. Everybody knew me from my junior days. Knew my warm up was a fag. I wasn't out in the pitch. I was done. It was the truth. Half time in the showers having a fag. Full time. As soon as the full time whistle went, the manager's doing a team talk about taking a fag, having a fag.
That's bonkers, isn't it?
I'll be honest, I used to love a fag. But seeing that I've turned into one of the pricks. See if I smell it now, it gives me the absolute bolt. I've become one of the reformed arseholes.
Oh mate, I'm going to tell you a snooze story, right? So obviously I'm on here, I talk quite openly about my addiction and all the stuff I used to get up to and taking drugs and acting like an idiot and whatever else. But an unnamed football player one time said to me, try this, and it was snus. And I'm like, what is this? Chewing tobacco in a tea bag. So we're driving through Falkirk and I stick this in my mouth and I'm sitting. And then we're driving along the road, John, and the lights will start going blurry round about me. I'm like, what's happening here? So I've had to get into a service station, whited all over the place, right? Gave myself nicotine poisoning. Didn't know what this wee thing was. All up and down there was, right, in a service station. And I fell asleep all the way home from Falkirk. I got tapped off at the house and I went up the stair and I fell asleep. And one of my wee lassies went to her mum and went, I think my dad's no well. She came up the stair and I was as white as this jumper. Ill for days, you know, see if I'm out. And obviously, you know yourself, it's quite big in football circles. And see as soon as somebody opens it and I smell it, belly goes, takes me right back. Disgusting.
I've seen boys
stuff.
taking it for the first time in bus journeys and away home for games and stuff, and they're just fucking ill, man. You go, what the fuck is it, man?
It's so bad. It's so bad. That's the new pandemic among footballers.
I see it all the time now, but it's just something that's never tickled my fancy. It's just something that's no tickled my fancy, to be fair.
No, mate, no, that's good. So when obviously you're a young boy, sign your first professional contract, whereabouts?
Ipswich, I was actually at St Johnstone. I was 12, 13.
An eye for a goal with boys. They've got an eye for a goal with that team.
So I was there. I actually kicked out of school in 4th year. Sturrock was the gaffer, so I was up in Perth staying. I was actually full-time before I was legally full-time, so I was up in Perth every day training with Alan Main. We had Stephen Robertson and Smiler, the other goalie, but they two were injured, so I was playing reserve team football for the age of 14 with St Johnstone away to Brie. Monday nights playing with Jim Weir, boys like that in front of you, boys like Kieran Mack and Espy that are coming through. He broke into the first team, obviously. So we had a right good side, youth team, especially up at St Johnstone. Our 18s team was very good, so was our reserve side.
What about
St
Aaron May?
Johnstone were massive and young boys at that time.
Yes. What about Aaron Main? You must have a couple of stories about him. Xander said he's an absolute character.
I'll tell you one, I was a lazy wee shit as a boy, right? So I was, remember it, clear as day, it was a year I get kicked out of school. So my 4th year I was supposed to be at school. I done pre-season, I was up full-time with St Johnstone. We Sturrock says I wasn't hanging about the house, so I was up there.
Yep.
So we're doing this drill pre-season. I think it was like fucking 10 each side up and down. I've got halfway through and I went, I'm fucked, can't do anymore. And it's the first time I've ever had a fellow goalie scream at me, never fucking quit, never get in. Do you know what? I needed that. He absolutely roasted me. But see, I look back now and I spoke to him a few years after that. He's like, see, if I didn't rate you, or if I didn't think you could do better, or want you to do better. He's like, when I bored Mars, he's like, but you were annoying me. I was like, no, I appreciate that. And see, looking back, you go, I totally get where he's coming from, because working with other goalies and myself, you go, see if they've done a bit more, they would get that out. So I've took that wee hanging, and I'll have a wee go sometimes at boys if I don't think they're getting what they could. I think they're just chucking the towel in a wee bit easy. So that was a major learning experience under Mano. So he was different class for me.
Obviously, you've got that. So you've had a couple of senior teams. How was the senior football? And then obviously we're going to have to go into talking about real character building, JC, down in the juniors, the old punters.
As I say, my YT started at Ipswich. I was in the Scotland youth thing, so I was coming up quite a lot. And I was doing well down there, I was doing very well. And then I came up the second Christmas, and Albion Rovers were full time at the time. All my mates were playing them, so I was out there on the weekends and that when I was up. And they're like, come in and train with us. So I asked if I can get in and train with them just to keep ticking over while I was on a Christmas or winter break.
Yep.
So I was in training, and the gaffer Vinnie Moore at times that if we could get you'd be playing first team football. 17-year-old, you're going, oh, I want some of that. I like to play first team football. Because I'd already came from playing reserve team football for 14, 15, 16. So I've always been above myself. So getting down to Ipswich and playing youth team football, it just felt like about the balls. Although it was a different world in there, it just felt I want more. I want to kick on. It felt too easy, if I'm being honest. I just felt I wasn't getting challenged. So done that. Agreed. So Albion Rovers done a deal with Ipswich for 10 grand. They paid it. I came up the road, signed a 4-year deal for fucking Albion Rovers when I was 17, stupidly. Came up the road, didn't work out after the first season. Fell out with a new gaffer, Billy McCorn. I don't keep my mouth shut. That's my problem. So, and he didn't think young boys were allowed an opinion. So that was a clash of heads as well. A couple of other things happening about the club that I didn't like. So my pal Tom Spence, he's gone now, God bless him. He was the manager of Thorneywood Juniors. So he says, he's like, listen, if we can get you on loan and keep you for a season, you'll become our player, and I'll just let you go. He's like, I'll try and get you moved on, because I was on a 4-year deal, and that's only a year into it. So I'm sitting going, 3-year deal, 3 years still to go. What can I do? So we'd done that, got out on loan to Thorneywood, seen out the season, shafted Albion Rovers, became Thorneywood's player. Played another season there when Murrow came out. Watched me. Then when they got invited out to train with Murrow, Billy Davis offered me a contract virtually right away for the following season, a 2-year deal. So took that, and the rest is history with that side of things.
That's brilliant. It's just amazing to hear somebody who loves football who got that chance and took it and managed to get first team games in. I love hearing
That's
about
it.
it, and I see obviously you've got a good. You've also got a good reputation among football people up here, John, as well. But yeah, I know that you're friendly with the likes of Mitch and Liam and boys like that are good young goalies that are still to hit their prime really and that are really top
Good
class
boys.
up here.
They're good
And I
boys
think
and all, but they're just football boys. That's what attracts me to the guys like that. They like say Mitch. I've got Eric Phillips, Chris Fye, Ali McGee. We're in a chat. We've been in a group chat in WhatsApp for over 10 years now. It'd surprise you the goalies that have come through our group chat that we've got moves or whatever. As I say, Eric got me the Annan move. It was him. It was big Eric who got me in there. He opened the door for that one. So our group chats, you should see the amount of goalies that have moved about just with us four all getting in contact with somebody we know. It's unbelievable.
And it is a true thing as well. I hear people talking about the goalies union all the time, John. But see when you're in at Hub, your other goalies and your goalie coach, it's like a different team and amongst the team. And even if you're not playing,
I said that for day one. As soon as I went into Annan, I says to the boys, once we got our two settled goalkeepers, I says, I'm for yous. I'm here to help yous. If they're doing well, I'm doing well. That's the way I look at it. So I need to get them to trust me, and I'll back them every day of the week. I'll back my goalies before anything else. But again, the flip side, if I think there's been slack ass or I think they're at fault for something, we'll speak about it and I'll be honest with them. And I think that's why I've got a great relationship with Greg and Ryan, where I'm honest. The threes are very honest with each other. And you need that. You can't just be patting somebody's ego or no saying anything to somebody. There's got to be the flip side, but there's got to be trust there. For me, a goalie coach, your keeper's got to trust you. That's massive for me.
I was just thinking there when you're talking about me being like yourself, don't really keep my mouth shut. I used to get the exact same thing. We were talking about. It was bringing me back to John Brogan when I was at Yoker, and that guy just hated me. See, because I was a young boy, maybe 20, 21 or something, and came for.
It's just that era guys, but innit?
Mate, just came for Boys Club football, and it's like you need to lose half a stone. But mate, I'm 12 stone. I need to lose half. See if you lose half a stone, you'll get this, and you don't stand up and speak back to me in a dressing room and all this. And it's mad how looking at yourself now, somebody who is progressive and who's going through the license, you must have noticed some difference in the world of football as you transitioned for obviously pro through junior through coaching. That it's a different world we live in now, but mental health and the way you approach things is massive.
No, it's massive. As I say, for the top, I've been to the very top you can be in Scotland, to the lowest you can go. I've experienced it all. I've played amateur football as well as a ringer, but I've seen it all. I've seen it, but it is, and I think that a lot of people slaughter me for all the teams I've had, and I always have a laugh back saying it's experience gathering, but seeing reality it is. See the amount I've seen for different clubs at different levels and how things are done and how boys are treated or how boys act around at certain clubs. You see a lot, and I think more now, the game is very, very soft now, in my opinion. I think you can't shout at boys the way you used to. I used to thrive off it. See, if I got a roasting, I liked it. Didn't it at the time, but you knew you were getting it for a reason. And it always helped me. The evidence was always there. It always helped me. So I just think that you can't do it these days. There's a lot of change the way boys are. I think boys are pampered these days, if I'm being brutally honest.
Well, I was going to say that because I remember.
Not senior, I'm talking about juniors, Evan. I've seen a lot of pampering in the juniors. But in my day, it was proper. You done everything. You helped committees. You were out doing. Yes, boys. I see boys in lower division juniors. You ask them to give a wee hand with something, to turn their nose up, stuff for a superstar, and you're going, mate, get a rest. Boys that have never done anything in the game, jumping about, think superstars putting footballer in their bios and social media and stuff, and you're going, wow, you've never earned anything football, you've never worked, you've never done chores that we used to do when we were younger, which should be brought back as well, if you ask me.
Well, that's what I was going to say, mate. I remember Xander when he first went up there. So you're talking, what, Xander, 29. So you're talking maybe even 10, 12 years ago. I remember him coming in and saying, oh, Alan Main used to give him the bonus at Christmas for helping clean his boots, and Alan Manis, and going through and learning for these guys. And I remember a time as well, Xander had only just went up there, and him and possibly Stevie May and Stevie Reynolds or something were in charge of blowing up the match balls. And the referee came in and stuck a thing. Like wee processes you don't know that boys used to do. Blow up the match balls, and there was 2 balls out of 10 under pressure, and they went and get 20 laps to the park or something the next time they went to training for no doing it right.
It's discipline, but in learning to, whatever you're doing, to take care when you're doing it, make sure you do it right. It's just learning life skills. Look, the best days I ever had was up at St Johnson cleaning stands with boys and getting. It was a good laugh as well. As much as it was hard work, it put you in good stead going forward with life skills.
Yeah.
But as I say, even senior boys now, like full-time boys, I see them swanning about. They've all got the big fashion. They don't want for nothing. They've never worked for anything.
Yeah.
Going, you know.
As I say, your wash bag.
They've never worked a day in their life. Then what happens when they stop football? But they're all lost. They're absolutely lost. Whereas we were brought up in an era where you're taught good values. Everything had to be done at a standard. Cleaning wasn't just cleaning up after somebody. It was making the place presentable for the next day. It was coming into your work the next day, making sure it was right and nice for you as well. Wasn't it just for the first team? You were coming into the same environment, is it?
Aye. Obviously, the programme we're having today, JC, Junior Football Legend, mate, give us a run through of some of your times in the juniors. That is real character building in there, John.
Where do you start with that one? I've had a few clubs, to be fair. I think I've been through most of them.
Yes.
There's been a lot of stories. Some things I'll get into, some I won't. I've locked managers in dressing rooms threatened to fucking smash them. I've been called all sorts of fucking excited parts like this. Fucking obviously my wee sunbed here and there, Iraqi, this. All sorts I've been called, but no, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I thrived off it, and I think that's how I go in well with a lot of junior clubs. I speak everywhere I go. I've always got a good relationship. I didn't take it personal. I loved it. See it. If they were giving me abuse, I was doing something right. See if they weren't happy with me, that meant I was doing something right. And it's nice getting a wee message now and then on Twitter as well when you get boys that go, you only ever played well against us, you big fucker. That's a massive compliment.
Yeah.
I was like, the fact that you still remember me for playing and stuff, I was like, I love that. I've never say I was the greatest of goalkeepers. I've never ever blown my own trumpet. But I loved the junior game. I'll be honest with you, I absolutely loved it.
I remember when I was at Yoker and you used to hear people coming in who would come into Yoker that had maybe played at other teams and that, and they would talk about Big JC. Like you were like a mythical creature in the junior football, and that's in 2010. You must know Big JC, and I was like, I don't know if I do know this guy. And then obviously I've followed, and I've got you on Twitter and keep up with what you're doing with that, and obviously we give each other a wee text back and forward in that as well, just to keep checking in, mate, because I know obviously.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
I know obviously. Like me now, you're a single dad and looking after the wee ones, and it's hard being a man who's got 2 girls. It's not easy. It's no easy.
It's not, but it's rewarding at the same time. As I say, I'll not get into certain things, but I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my girl. That's bottom line it. My youngest daughter, Brianna, she's actually no my biological daughter. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but she's my daughter. I brought her up for she was 4 months old, so she's actually my wee rock. She's got see, for a 10-year-old, she would think she's had a 50-year-old's brain.
Yeah.
She knows when I'm doing. She knows. I don't know. She's just got this sixth sense thing. That's why I call her my rock. She's just. I'll give a wee example. Christmas there. I get a phone call from her mum, who I'm very, very still going great with. Her and her new man, we're all going great. So I get a phone call. She's like, Brianna says she wants to stay Christmas Eve and stay with Christmas Day. I was like, that'd be amazing. I'd love that. But she just had a wee baby there before Christmas. So I was like, listen, I know it's a wee Ian's first Christmas. I was like, I'm not expecting the Wayne to stay Christmas Eve or whatever. She's like, no, she's like, the Wayne wants to stay, and she's saying that she's staying. So that was amazing. Had the wee in Christmas Eve, woke up there on Christmas Day. It was absolutely brilliant. She just seems to know. You know, her mum's like, she just said that, yeah, she wasn't wanting her dad to wake up on Christmas Day herself. I was like, God bless her. But
obviously she's not seen how handsome you are, John. You would never be waking up yourself, son, if you went out on that Christmas Eve in that town. No, but I say it quite a lot on Twitter. You're a role model to me by obviously through your football and the stuff you do, but you're one of the people who stands out a mile, cares about other people. Do you know what I mean? Keeps in contact with people, and
I'm a big believer of whatever you give out, you get back, and I don't look for anything back ever. But I believe if you give out good vibes, you'll get good things back. I've done bad things in my past. When if bad things happen to me, it's easier to accept because you know what? I've done bad things. I've done things that I shouldn't have done. I'm a big believer in Cam. You know what? Sometimes you've just got to take your medicine, see if things aren't going your way. That's what it is. Just take it in the chin. A few things have happened recently. Don't get me wrong, there's times when you go, I don't deserve this.
Yeah.
My example, I had a wee hanging Friday there, and I was blown away. I'm going, what have I done to deserve this? But again, it's keeping another lesson. Through my breakdown and stuff, you just learn to don't dwell on the negatives. Let it soak in, absorb it, then move on. Take whatever lesson you can for it. There's always a lesson in something.
I think even when you're winning, you're still learning. That's a big thing I've found over the last few years. Even when I used to be doing well, I wouldn't care about what was happening out with my bubble. Everything's gone good in here. Whereas now, see, when things are going good for me, I look outside the bubble and say, what are the out with factors that are contributing to me feeling like this? Because it's not always what's inside. You can dig, as you call it, good vibes. I call it whatever. You can dip in and get good vibes through you. I'm a firm believer that it is out there. There's energy out there. If you're prepared to go and look for it.
A lot of people, you know yourself, a lot of people have a wee hang, JC always never have Twitter. I don't go to anything. I don't leave the house. So Twitter is my social. That's where I interact with people or have a laugh or whatever. I'm never out that much. Ever since my breakdown, I've been a bit of a fucking hermit, to be honest with you. I go out now and then, but it's very, very rare that I'm out. If you knew, so that is my social line. A lot of people don't understand that. I had to let go of a friend network that I had for a long, long time because I had to do it for me to progress because it was dragging me down. So what a lot of people won't know either is I've had to start life again only 2 or 3 years ago. Literally start all over again and with nothing. I had a group of so-called pals, which get the old, I don't know, therefore, see, since I had a breakdown, I had a handful of people around about me, and I know who they are, and they'll never be forgotten. And that's why I've been invited out for hundreds of things and on. I think I hold myself back a wee bit. I still do that to this day. I know I do. I should be getting myself out and about, going for a wee pint here and there with boys or whatever. But I don't. I hold myself back. I think it's a fear of loss. I've had a lot of loss in my life. Just before my breakdown, I'd lost my brother and my relationship all at the same time. So and I've lost my father and there's a wee boy. I've lost my closest uncle a few years ago as well. So there's a lot of, through obviously doing a wee bit of a lot of counselling actually, you find out a lot of your problems are through loss. So I find it hard to attach on to anybody, whereas that Twitter's like it's a fake world. I'll blare away anybody's, I'll talk to, I'll help anybody if I can. If there's anybody needs a chat or whatever, my DMs are always open. I'll help anybody that I can. I get a buzz out of helping people. That gives me a buzz. And I'll be honest, I've seen I get nice comments and stuff. I'm not going to lie, that gives me a boost.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and fucking bullshit. I'm no bored. It does. It gives me a boost. I'll use the weekend as a perfect example. The amount of Rangers fans that were coming on and back me up because of fucking 2 or 3 bad comments on the Jimmy Bell picture. 2 or 3 bad comments. I had about 30, 40 Celtic fans in my DMs all saying they would have done the same thing and hope I enjoyed my day with them. So 2 or 3 people are not going to annoy me, but seeing other people who don't know me but jumping on and giving you a bit of support, that gives you a boost. I don't care what anybody says, it's an absolute boost.
And the 2 people who were tweeting you abuse would have been the people who are called Dav169 with the picture of Rangers badge, obviously. It wouldn't be somebody with their name in their face.
Aye,
I wanted to speak a wee bit about Twitter, mate, because obviously the 2As are quite active on it. Obviously now I need to be really, really careful because I switch between my 2 Twitter profiles and I don't want to respond to anything through the other brothers podcast. It is my own thoughts, do you know what I mean? But you're the same as me, mate. I don't go out anymore either. I don't go out. Obviously, as you know, I was an addict, and when I went out, I didn't know when I was going to come home and stuff. So, see, now I'm quite happy to get a couple of bottles of beer and sit with my girlfriend and watch a film and be quite happy at that. My wee girls, they're in the night, and my girlfriend's putting up my bed to let me go in here, and we've got this wee unit now, and it's something that I had everything. I had a big, massive house. I had everything, and similar to yourself, mate, I've had to walk away from it, and ended up back at my mum and dad's with absolutely nothing. Do you know what I mean? But do you know what? I'm the same as you. I appreciate now what I've got. I appreciate every single moment now, because it takes to hit rock. Once you hit rock bottom, the only way is up. Do you know what I mean? And I feel as if I'm on the way up again, and I'm getting back to myself and being able to put myself out there. On things like this and try and help other people is
I've dropped you a wee message here and there. I can see a difference in you, and it's brilliant to see. You're saying that I'm an inspiration. It's vice versa here. I look at you and I go, no, what? Fucking good on you. That gives me a wee boost.
And
because I know you've had to start all over again, and nobody realises when you actually walk away from a family unit. Then you have to, it's a whole life you're starting again. And then for me as well, obviously I done the friends group as well, so I didn't have that support network because I took myself out because I had to, for me. And for my kids, if I'm being honest as well. So take myself out of that environment and starting all over again it's took a long time, and I'll be honest, I'm still working on it now. I'm not saying things are great or rosy, but I'm in a good place. I'm doing me, and I'm doing me. If nobody likes it, no bother. That doesn't bother me anymore.
Going back to Twitter, obviously that's where I was going with that point before I get waylaid away into the 2-hour private life there. But on the Twitter, mate, you're the exact same as me. Just a bam up, just a bit of banter, and the amount of folk, you must get it yourself, and all the amount of folk that just dive on everything you say. And you're like, oh, come here.
Watch us. You put a tweet out and you go, you have we laugh, you go, wonder who's got to take the bait first. There's always 2 or 3 accounts you just know that are just got to boom, jump on you. You're a bigot, this, or you're a fucking this or that. It's fucking so easy. But the thing is, these boys do it to other people, but as soon as you do it to them, you're banging out the order, you're this, behave yourself, man.
It's a barren landscape, the Twitter. You get the real people on it, and I know a lot of folk, and I'm actually quite friendly with a lot of folk that I've met through Twitter now and through Rangers and even through the anonymous fellowships and stuff. But there's some amount of weapons on it that are just out looking for controversy and looking for fights.
I've just had one on there earlier on there. I've had to block a couple earlier on. Because the old me with a butt. Nobody wants the old me with a butt. Fucking started. I'm just getting to the stage now. I'm like, no, let's see if you're annoying me. Just got to block you. And I was never one of the blockers, but I'm just at that stage now. I just can't be asked.
Well, I'm 33 and you're 40, so I've got about another 6 years. I keep winding them up before I block them.
You keep going for the
Maybe the time I get to your age, I'll have grew up a wee bit. No, mate, it's saying that I feel as if mate. I feel like this year, even with work and everything, like I got a new job last year, and even this year with my work, I'm like so organised, and I think it all comes for that. See, being content on the inside, I can now start focusing on work, focusing on a podcast, focusing on going camping. I've joined that Fire and Peace group through talking to the guy Jerry on here, a group that I went to, who probably helped save my life, and I'm now able, because it's obviously no ideal that I've only got my wee girls overnight 3 nights a week, but it gives me 4 nights a week where I can do something, I can help other people, rather than that constant stream. The constant stream of work, sleep, eat, repeat. Do you know what I mean? It's good to have.
You need a wee bit of different variety in your week as well. You need to be doing something you enjoy. That's the main thing. That's what I'm saying. The goalkeeping coaching, just putting everything out. You know yourself, I used to be one of the ones that said, the badge, coaching badges, blah, blah. I was one of the fucking idiots. I freely admit it. You know something that's the best thing I've ever done is going these courses. The amount I've learned, the people that I've met, I'll be honest, I've learned more than I thought I would. And you're looking at your tutors going, these guys have worked with the best. What the fuck was I thinking? Who the fuck am I to comment on anybody? So
have you got your goalies? Have you got your goalies playing with tennis balls and golf balls yet? But that's
fuck. Ram the tennis balls up your arse.
Never forget that when the video came on. Was it the Real Madrid goalies or something? Do all the cones with the tennis balls, and you're right away. Get this to fuck.
Anybody that knows me knows I hate all that shit.
That's a nonsense.
YouTube goalie coaches. That's what they are.
Aye. So you're obviously doing your B licence now,
goalkeeping B now.
So how's that? So, obviously that must be stressful. I know obviously you were doing.
It is, to be fair, but no, that it's giving me something to focus on. And it's actually quite. I'm enjoying it. Like this on a laptop. I never used a laptop just before I started this course.
Yeah.
So I was like to Fraser, my tutor, was like, mate, what the fuck do I do here to get all this stuff? The boys are all in there. The first time they're in, the boys are all get everything printed off. I'm going, fuck it.
No clue. It's a generational thing, that.
To be honest, I was freaking out a wee bit. I was like, Fraser's up there. I'm going to struggle on this course. So he's like, shut up. He's like, it's what you do in that pitch. He's like, you're fine. So that gave me a wee boost. But I'll be honest, I'm starting to get my head around it a wee bit now. I think just at the start, it's a wee bit overwhelming. And it's new and something I've never done before. And actually enjoying it. Like every night, doing a wee bit here and there. I do a wee bit of analysis for my goalies as well. I watch other. So I'm take myself doing things that I enjoy doing. It's all football related. It's all something that I love. It's what I know.
Yeah.
And what I believe that I'm good at. So goalkeeping coaching is my passion. I've tried the management in the juniors, done it for 3 years. I was fairly successful. Got a promotion, took a club to its first final in 30 odd years, and then just seen the other side of it and went, nah. I just wanted to go and deal with 2 goalies and just fucking work with my goalies at my club and just do what I love doing without all the extra headaches.
I was going to say that. Do you find working with your goalies, because you've got that close goalies union, do you find you can still be a wee bit more old school with your goalies because you've got that tight group and goalies are all a bit mad? You can still
Yes.
have that kind of old-fashioned.
You've got to feel your way in a wee bit at the start. So you'll chuck a couple of wee things, small things out there to test your limits with them. See what you can and can't get away with. But it gets to a stage now, the boys, they know what everyone's as clear as day now. They know when I'm happy, they know when I'm not happy. They know what I'll accept and what I won't accept. To be fair to two of them, I've got an easy job because they two of them work their arse off, and the two of them are very, very good keepers, and the two of them want to train. So for me, I've got the easiest job in the world, innit?
They can't be real goalies if they want to train, John.
Mate, two of my class. Unbelievable. They want to work, that's the thing. I'll give you a prime example. Last week, I done a wee tester thing with them. We didn't do much work on the Tuesday, and we were playing wee games or something. So I done a wee thing. A Thursday's usually, I'll give them a hard session on Tuesday. A Thursday we'll either do goalie wars, a wee bit of heady tennis, a wee fun night.
Yep.
So on the Tuesday we didn't do much. So on the Thursday we went, what are we doing, heady tennis, or do you want to do a wee bit of handling stuff? To them right away. Aye, let's do the handling stuff.
Did that.
Brilliant. So you drop in wee things just to find out their personalities, where they are, and you get to learn that about them as well. We just drop wee things, just testing them. And that's just a thing that I learned through myself, how coaches reacted with me and things that I picked up. Wee things I've learned from other goalie coaches that I've spoke to. I went down to Salford a few weeks ago there to work with just Shadow Carlo Nash, different class. Learned a lot. He's fucking in the career of just getting to sit with him and blare away with him. I was talking about him about goalkeeping, fucking in life in general as well. He was very open with me, and what a guy. Absolutely what a guy. I'll get back down in a couple of weeks to do the full week. So learning for guys at that level and getting into their head, how do you speak to him and what do you do in this situation? Just picking brains of boys that have done it at a very top level.
And that comes back as well to you, obviously, being a bit older and a bit wiser and being able to listen to somebody and take on that advice. Because before, when you were younger, and I'm sure when you were younger, and I was younger, you thought you know everything now. Whereas, see, once you get a certain, you start to learn that.
I'll be honest, seeing it came to goalkeeping, if I was training, I was very, very lucky. I had Alan Main, an older big goalkeeper. Went to Ipswich, I had Richard Wright, who was a young top keeper at the time, who was getting touted for everybody to end up at Arsenal and Everton stuff. Mm-hmm. So I've always, Murrow, Gorham, Stevie Woods, I've always been lucky to work with top keepers. So I was always wanting to learn. So for me, it was, that side of things was easy, but dealing with managers was different. If a goalie coach told me to do something, I'd do it with a manager, I'd be like, I'd fuck it off. I'll be honest. What you're saying there, you think you know everyone, you'd fuck things off. Because you're training me like an Andy Gorham, you think you can treat the rest of your day like an Andy Gorham, but you can't. You get fucked in the line very, very quickly.
I wanted to obviously conflict of interest for me, but the young Scottish goalkeepers coming through, obviously, I know your pal with Liam Motherwell, who's doing brilliant. Xander, obviously my brother. The future for Scottish goalkeepers looks bright,
Very. I'll chuck Mitch into that as well. Although he's 31, but I think Mitch is our top Scottish keeper. Then I'll look down the lower leagues. Max Curry coming through.
Brilliant.
Still young. Max is different class.
It's just good to see them all making it. Do you know what I mean? Boys that have dug in and been through the trenches. And now, obviously, you look at the Scotland squad, Gordon and John McLaughlin's a contentious one for me because he doesn't play a lot. But Xander and Liam seem to be next in line. And it's amazing that two boys...
They've got to be in every squad. I've said it umpteen times. Xander and Liam have got to be in every squad. Whether it be... If I've got to use them or not, they must be in the squads just to be around it because they are the future. They need to be. For me, it used to be in the old days. You're two senior goalies, and you always had a young boy because you always want them to get used to that environment. So when they are called upon, it's no new to them. They're used to it. They know what they're getting into. So for me, Xander and Liam must be in all Scotland squads. I've said it umpteen times on Twitter. The two of them have got to be involved. When they're not, it annoys me. And you know my thoughts in the last one. It was 3 30-odd-year-old goalies. I'm going, that's not for me. That's a no for me.
I think obviously I've got a conflict of interest, but I tout the two of them on Twitter. You see yourself. People think I'm at the bam up when I say Xander and Liam Kelly could both play for Rangers or Celtic. The two of them could for me. You look at. I had an argument with a guy that had a picture of Phil Mitchell as his Twitter handle today, so that was intriguing. Who was telling me that I'm wrong to use stats when I say Xander's only behind Gordon and Hart as the top shots to saves percentage. You can't argue with that, especially a team like St Johnstone where they give away clear-cut chances. The likes of Hart saving shots that are people hitting one for 20 yards right down his throat, and that's counting as a save. So I think that they're two young goalies that could easily step up a level.
They could go down south and play, no problem. Liam's already done it. I just thought it was unfortunate, QPR. I just found that situation weird. But he's come up here and what I gather from him, speaking to him and stuff, he's loving it, Murrow. The fans love him.
I was going to say that. He's got a following.
I say if you're happy as well, I think you're always got to play well.
Yeah.
I think you need to be happy with where you are and what you're doing. It helps. So I think Liam's found that at Murrow, and that's how his form is so good. He's got that love in with the fans. The club love him. He loves it there. Yeah. And I think that's massive for any player, not just a goalie, for any player, if you've got that. I'll be honest, I'll give my opinion on Xander. I think his time's up at St Johnstone. I think he needs something fresh. He's proved himself there. No disrespect to St Johnstone, had a great time there as well, but I think he can go and kick on now. I think he needs to go and test his. That's my own personal.
Being a free agent at the end of the season, obviously, mate, I don't know about you, but Xander doesn't tell me anything because he knows that I talk. He knows that I talk to people when people ask me, and he knows that I get all excited and I would. But I hope I feel the same as you. Winning a double last season at St Johnstone was mammoth. Where do you go for that? And obviously this season I feel the league position at this point doesn't tell the full story of the season. But I would hate for the big game if he does leave. I would hate for him to leave on the back of getting relegated after the season he had last year. Do you know what I mean?
That's a hard thing even for Callum and that as well. I'd take that harm for Callum that as well, because you can't go for winning 2 cups one season. The relegation it's just not right. And I've seen them this season. They're no relegation candidates for me. It's wild.
No. I watched them against Aberdeen the other day. They got a penalty against them that didn't look like a penalty. Obviously, the Wiggins came off injured. The week before, a penalty decision that was just they're not getting the breaks. And sometimes you know yourself through football, if your luck's down, sometimes it's hard to change that. Do you know what I mean? If nothing's gone for you.
I've been in these situations many times, and as you just think, God, like I'll go back to the start. You just go, I fucking done right to deserve this.
Yeah.
Fucking games you can batter teams for 90 minutes of the game. Then 90 plus 1, you're 1-0 down. You go, what the fuck?
Shot deflects off somebody's ass.
I've seen it happen a million times.
Aye. So, big man, before we wrap up, I've asked everybody on the pod at the end. Obviously, it's a mental health promoting podcast. For somebody listening to me and you, loves their football, maybe like me and you, they've split up with their wife and they're starting out again, or their mental health's not where it should be, big man, what would be your advice to the person who's listening and maybe doesn't know their next step?
If they're really struggling, there is plenty of help out there. If they're on social media, there's Back On Side who who saved me. I've no got a question. They saved me. Libby back on side. I couldn't thank her enough. And our team, I was still getting counselling right up until just before Christmas here. And that's been a few years on and off with stuff. So they're always there at their phone. There's plenty of, even reach out to anybody, speak to anybody. I've learned that. I was one of the proud people who thought I was not wrong with me, or I didn't want to talk to anybody. But honestly, it'll be the best thing you ever do is just open up. Because see, once it's out, it's if something just leaves you as well. That burden, burden leaves you. Because once that's out there, there'll always be somebody want to listen to you. Always. And if anybody's listening to us and are on Twitter, I'll happily talk to anybody. My DMs are always open as well. I'll speak to anybody and push them in the direction I think they need to go in.
And it's just that. It's just people like yourself coming on here and telling your story, and somebody maybe clicks with something you say and being able to approach you. Amazing, big man. I really appreciate you saying that to anybody who's watching.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't know I was depressed or had anxiety. I know now, looking back, talking to my ex-partner and her family and stuff, there was signs like sitting on holiday, secluding myself with people. But I honestly, I didn't see it at the time. But once you look back, there's lots of signs. There'll be people around about you who'll know these signs. If somebody says to you, listen, I think you're not doing too great, take it on board. They'll see something you don't. That was the biggest thing that I learned, was people do see things that you might not feel it, or if you think don't be embarrassed about it either. That's the biggest thing. Do not be embarrassed. Everybody suffers their own way and whatever, and people have got different coping mechanisms, and you learn that through speaking to various different people. Me saying going to talk to A, B, or C might not work for somebody, but ED or whatever might. So there's always help there for somebody, and you're in different circumstances.
I'll make sure I cut out the fact you just got D&E mixed up.
That's what I think about it.
No, mate, I really appreciate you getting up time, JC, to come on. It's been great talking to you. It's great following you on Twitter.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And to anybody who's watching or listening, as I say, John's kindly said his Twitter's open. If you want to speak to him, you've heard a wee bit about his story, you identify it. The Other Brother podcast's open. I spoke a wee bit last week on the pod myself about my story. The two of us are here to help anybody. So if you've enjoyed it, if you've liked listening, if you think that this podcast is something that could help you or somebody you know, like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff that helps get the podcast out there. And you never know who's going to make benefit of it. So if you want to hear real people like John telling their real stories, offering real solutions, and hopefully showing real hope, then I'll see you next week with another guest. John, thank you, my friend.
Well, thank you, and keep up the good work, mate. Brilliant.
Thank you, mate. I'll catch everybody next